With whom do you most identify with as you listen to today's gospel? Do you identify more with the younger son who says to his father, "Give me what is rightfully mine"? Then he squanders it, but then he's remorseful. And in humility, he goes back to his father, not expecting forgiveness, but embracing it when it is freely given? Or do you identify more with the older son who is angry with his father because his father is generous, kind, and merciful? Yet the older son is jealous, not just because his brother has squandered everything that the father had given him, but he's jealous that his father is generous. My guess is that if we were to be brutally honest with ourselves, we can be both. I guess it just depends on the day of the week. We can recognize when we have done something wrong. And even though we don't think we deserve to be forgiven, like the younger son, we come to our senses and we seek mercy. Yeah, the younger son, he was really only just looking for food because he was hungry. But he experienced so much more. But sometimes we can be like that older son and not fully comprehend, how can this man be so forgiving, so loving, so understanding, so willing to embrace his sinful son home? And at the same time, he attempts to reason with the older son. We should always strive to be like the father, who is forgiving, who doesn't hold a grudge. Who here this morning can honestly say that you've never held a grudge? I'm going to ask somebody to come and nail my hands to the ambo. But you know what I've realized in my own life? That I exert more energy holding that grudge, yes, it's true, than to forgive. I really don't need to explain the story of the prodigal son. It speaks for itself. I could have asked everyone here to give me a synopsis of the parable of the prodigal son, and everyone in this church this morning could have done so because it's so well known. And so to that end, I want us all to contemplate and to think about who we most identify with in this gospel. Now, I realize that I'm not surrounded by a church full of Jesuses and Marys. Nor are you. They were perfect. Lucky them. I'm not. That might come as a shock to some. Okay, I know. The gift of forgiveness is one that I think some of us can never fully comprehend or grasp. How can God want to forgive me after I have sinned, after I have rejected his love and his friendship? How can God forgive me when I have wronged my neighbor, when I have judged harshly? How can God forgive me, a sinner? Because he's understanding, he's kind, he's merciful, And he sent his Son to suffer so as to redeem us from our sinful ways. None of us likes to acknowledge that we're sinners. That's just the reality, friends. Sorry, there's no way out of that. And so I'd like to invite you to join me and 5 other priests tomorrow evening for our annual Lenten reconciliation service as a way to prepare our hearts and our minds, our entire beings, to celebrate the Paschal mystery 3 weeks from today. We'll have a communal aspect of our reconciliation service tomorrow, April 1st. No, that is not a joke. At 7 o'clock. And then the 6 of us will be available for individual confessions. Mercy, forgiveness. Those 2 things are only realized because God understands who we are and loves us just as we are, but desires for us to be a liberated and a free people. And so, accept the Lord's gift of forgiveness tomorrow evening. It's just an invitation. I hope you accept it.